I've been reading a fascinating book this week called Reading Backwards. And it's not a book that tells you to start at the last page and work your way forward to the first page. But it's a book based on the four Gospels and how the writers of the Gospels took the happenings and the experiences and the words of Jesus and read them back into the Old Testament. It's a fascinating book because there's still a lot of controversy among academics and theologians about how clearly the Gospel writers understood the divinity of Jesus. And this book makes a strong and clear argument that they were well aware when they were writing their Gospels that Jesus truly was God in the flesh, God with us. And they take many of the incidents, many of the miracles. They take, of course, the biblical quotations from the Old Testament. But more than that, they take the whole kind of ethos of the ministry of Jesus and his teachings and take them right back into the Old Testament, sometimes into surprising areas and unexpected areas of Scripture. And they show very strongly and categorically that the Bible writers, the New Testament writers, the writers of the four Gospels were utterly convinced that Jesus was not just the Messiah who was to come, of course he was that, not just the prophet like Moses who would arise, and he was that too, of course, but there was much more than that, that he was Emmanuel, God with us, that he was God in the flesh. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And it's encouraging to read academic and scholarly works of true believers who can, with great skill, bring these arguments onto the table. And I find that very encouraging in these days where there's still so much skepticism, so much doubt, so much unbelief, that there are men and women of true faith who go to the Scriptures with true academic ability and reveal the truths that are clearly there. Now, it wasn't a revelation to me so much as because I've always known that Jesus was the Son of God. He was Emmanuel, God with us. But it's great to see these later scholarly writers coming up with deep and well-researched evidence of those early writings. And I recommend you to get such books and read them and be encouraged by the number of very clever, very academic, very theological men and women who have done their studies and their research and come to the same conclusions that you and I have come by faith. And such things can only do good and encourage us and build us up in our holy faith. It's great to read good books by good people who encourage us in the things of God.